How's it going, everyone? I got a bit of a new intro going in there today. Just switching things up. That was a bit of a surprise for Dave as well. So I don't know if he loves it or hates it or
Love it.
what we're gonna do with things. Gonna work with the transitions a little bit better. Basically, what we wanted to do is have an intro that wasn't like a set 2-minute timer that we can kind of just like, all right, we're here, we're live, get in here, and let's get after it. Let's start shooting the shit and have some fun. And before we even do that, first and foremost, get rid of the boring shit. Let's hit the like button. Let's hit the subscribe button. Let's cheer on the Eagles, because that's what Dave is looking at. If you see his eyes wandering, he's looking over at the Eagles right now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
how I'm assuming you're feeling pretty good right now. They're up by 11.
I'm doing good. We were up by more before the last touchdown, but yeah. No, I'm feeling good, I think.
All right.
We can barely stop them. We forced 2 turnovers, which is nice. But how much of it is due to the Washington Commanders having a rookie quarterback who's performing good though? I have to say that. But yeah, they can't stop us basically as well. So we should be good for this game.
It'd be good. Fourth quarter. No, still the third, almost the fourth. Guys, we're gonna have fun tonight on this one because yesterday was shit. Straight up shit. So we're gonna talk about it. It's the Colin show. You guys will kind of be able to dictate where and how you want to go with things. Whether that be the Eagles and the Commanders, or whether it be like how Conte is the greatest coach ever. I don't know. Whatever you guys want. We'll hit a couple main points here, just kind of news points, and we'll just open up the lines early and get right the hell into it. I love how you guys came in early as well to comment. It seems like there's good feedback on the thumbnail, so I'm happy. Yeah. Like I said, we're trying to have some fun with things today. Sinking, and I don't see anything around that could help them. Yeah. Okay. Who's more?
Marshall Lattimore is the cornerback of the Washington Commanders.
Oh, that's who that is. Okay.
And why Jeff is hating him was because he played a couple of years for the New Orleans Saints, and he made the Buccaneers' life a living hell for a couple of years. Because he's a great cornerback, and now he's coming a bit into his years, and now he's just a tick instead of being actually good.
Okay, I see. All right. I mean, I'm still learning. That's why I'm trying to watch a bit more. Just try to understand. It's new. You know me. All right. Speaking of new things, Renato Vega, he's arrived. He's here finally.
Yep.
Here. Yeah. It's not the most fanfare. A little bit of fanfare. I mean, here it is. You know, he's there. He's at J Medical. There's the car.
By
That's
the way,
the airport, I suppose.
By the way, is it just me, or does he have a stick up his ass, or does he look like he's already limping? Like,
I think it's because his pants are too low.
He's walking so weird, man.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Maybe you saw something. This is the exact same thing. So, and then post by Elon Musk, because that's what X is now. So, all right, I'll put that away for a second. Man, it's getting crazy out there. Not gonna lie. People riding against X right now because it's owned by Musk. Reddit's going to war against them. They're basically, it's up to the subreddits, but even the Juve subreddit now, they have banned X links, and you can only do screen shares of them because they just don't want to generate traffic towards that site in protest. Yeah.
Did you catch the Formula One Reddit beef versus Formula One Twitter or X bubble?
I know about the Ben Suleiman, whatever his name, but this is something different.
The F1 subreddit went against X because a couple of Formula One creators who are writing stuff on X became very toxic and annoyed other people, were disrespectful towards the community and stuff like that. So they straight up banned in the subreddit links from X or news from X.
Oh,
And
that's I mean that's just one of them. Apparently, there's well, a couple days ago it was hundreds,
yep. And
might be
now,
more.
a couple of the content creators that are using X and not as much Reddit are going against the Reddit people, calling them woke people and insulting them and stuff
What
like
you
that.
know what I'm gonna use what I need to use at this point. I'm trying to stay apolitical because sometimes I mean I need to get the news out to you guys. Part of what we do here is to get the
Yeah.
news, and if I just start saying on some sort of moral basis, no, it
Honestly,
would.
I don't have X since couple of months now, and honestly, I feel happy.
So the thing is like I have the Dive X account, and the only things I follow are like Juve F1, like sports
Yep.
related stuff. So I don't get a lot of that other crap. Like I
Yep.
literally just get a bunch. Yeah, no, I mean Musk is always gonna pop up, but you can either watch and have a laugh or just scroll past.
Yep.
Reddit is all guys who never got laid.
Hey,
You know,
but maybe that's why the comments in Reddit seem civilized sometimes.
you know what? Reddit is a funny place. There's some really weird shit, but there's also some really good stuff. And like you can just ask questions about anything. About
Yeah.
absolutely anything. And that was actually one thing we talked about, me and Adrian, before we recorded. So he moved into a new house a couple years ago. And he lives a couple hours down the road. He's like directly east of me, right? So we have the
Yep.
same climate essentially. So I know his woes of starting a lawn. Like when you have a new house and they don't have a lawn, he's just trying to make his little piece of the American dream, if you will, the Canadian dream. Oh yeah, it was a couple years ago. He just started talking about lawn and like the struggles that I've had, and I've like lived in
Yep.
different places and regrew lawns multiple times, kind of thing. So like that's just one of the things that we always talk about now is just, oh, how's your lawn doing? So this
By the
time,
way, try to grow a beautiful lawn right here in your garden in the middle of Berlin inside the city. No chance.
well, no, I mean that's inner city. I don't have much of a garden now either. It's a couple feet of snow and it's frozen. But regardless, these are the struggles we have. But yeah, I was just like, hey, Adrian, have you ever been to like the lawn care Reddit? And he's like, yeah, I discovered it a couple months ago. And like that's just an example of how Reddit could be really good. It's like, hey, I have this weed. How do I get rid of it? Oh yeah, it's this. This is what you should do. Like it could be amazing for just the most mundane things out there, right? Or it could be absolutely toxic and a bunch of dudes that never got laid. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's anywhere, really.
Yeah, I think so. But what I found out on Reddit, I don't are you in the do you read the Formula One subreddit sometimes?
No, I actually haven't
Right.
even been there. Maybe I should go. Should I go?
The comments in the Formula One subreddit are actually like civilized people debating no hate speech and stuff like that because the mods are actually like working proactively to get rid of that stuff. But the comments on Reddit are really civilized and very nice
Even the
to
even the Juve one. Yeah, the Juve one's not bad either.
yeah.
But yes, as Xiao Quinn, well Quinn, however we say this, X and Reddit or AI farms. Let's be real. That is a lot of what they are.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If you think I created the thumbnail from scratch today, I mean, I'd be lying to you. I'm a horrible artist.
Dude, all of us are using AI. Honestly, sometimes when I'm writing contracts and everything, I just give ChatGPT the parameters that I want inside the contract, and it writes me a whole paragraph with the stuff I need. Like honestly, it's so helpful. And if there's any way for you in your life to implement it, honestly use it because it's so goddamn helpful and makes your life honestly easier.
And more positive comments on the thumbnail. So thank you. You can thank Grok more importantly for that. I just gave the large language model the command string to generate. And I mean, I did a little bit extra to it at the end, but it was mostly Grok. All right. Shall we get into the crappy shit for a little second?
Honestly, you can't depend on me because I haven't watched the game.
Oh,
I
you
was in the
were. Well,
stadium.
tell
Uh,
everyone where
I
you were then.
I was in the Olympiastadion in Berlin watching Hertha BSC versus Hamburg. Experience was great. Game was great. Technically, my team lost though. We were 2-0 down. Made it 2-2 in the 85th minute, and conceded a counterattack after a corner of ours, and it
Mm.
was 3-2. So that was a bummer and a heartbreaker, but the game was fun. 72 people or
Then
72,000 people in attendance for a second division game in the Bundesliga. 72,000 men.
all right, Eddie, we're
And
gonna get to the link. He keeps us saying link.
and you guys can look through our shorts to see some of the atmosphere, and I will still share even more. And hey, the Eagles almost scored another touchdown. So
Oh shit, they almost did. And just more bullshit since we're at it. Wrong screen. Okay, well, let's do this screen first. Screw it. Speaking of the Eagles, have you seen this?
no.
Okay. Well, this is the mayor of Philadelphia.
Let me hear you all say E-L-G.
Oh my god.
E-S, Eagles.
Oh my god. That's why a couple of the fans have those signs in the stand.
Yeah, that's what's
Oh my
going on.
god. So that's what's behind it. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh my god, that's how embarrassing. But she made fun of herself after about it, so I mean,
Oh my god.
give it to her. All right, and I just because you got me on the F1 Reddit, you've done this to me.
Yep.
So the caption is the FIA clamping down on swearing and cursing. Meanwhile, in the IMSA, which I actually watched a bit of this weekend,
Yeah.
but he's just flipping the bird racing down Daytona. Love it, love it. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna wait for the shitty stuff.
Oh my god, did we fumble it on the goal line?
I don't know. You must be ahead of me. I'm not paying that hard attention. There's a flag on the play. What else did we have to get over? Okay, yeah, there was one more thing.
Oh my god, please tell me we didn't fumble it. Oh no, it just was stopped. Oh my god, I was scared there. Sorry, I'm back.
Keep together, Dave. All right, I still think the Eagles are like they got this. So
Yeah, I just would like one TD more to me. And
listen, you're a Juve fan. Don't expect the safety goal. There is no safety net in your life, man.
Man, the problem is I need it from somewhere. I don't have it at Juve. I don't have it for my Berlin team because we have a trash defense. We're scoring like dozens of goals, but concede almost two goals per game. We're in 12th place, though just 7 points off from the promotion spots. But still, man, it's football is hard for me this season, man. Not gonna lie. So
Well,
I
it's almost over.
I have to watch the Eagles or hope that Lewis Hamilton wins his 8th championship at Ferrari.
There's always something to look forward to.
Man,
Just like
fuck the
Dash Bumping.
Commanders.
Nobody
Jesus
likes the Commanders.
Christ.
Well, I guess Chiro likes Redskins. I don't know if he likes the Commanders, but he likes the Redskins.
The potatoes are really good.
Redskin potato, yeah.
The potatoes.
They're not necessarily more expensive per bag. I don't know why.
It's
They're
because
less. You can. They're great for like roasting, but like nothing else.
You know what? That's the new after dark discussion. We go for 45 minutes talking about potatoes.
No, like they're great potatoes, but they're one trick ponies. A russet does it all. And they're cheaper.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
You
but
want a
like
French fry? You want a roast potato? You want baked potato? Get a
russet potatoes are frowned upon in society. I don't know why. I like them in the culinary world. They're my best friend.
They do it all.
They do it all.
Okay, this next topic, as we try to reel it in, and then we're going to open up the lines. We're going to table it for you guys to come in, and Sal, if you're available, you like to talk this kind of stuff, I think you're talking about in the Discord, and that is the possible Agnelli purchase of the club, including Saudi investment.
Really?
Yeah. So this is okay. Here, I got it in. I'm translating. I'll bring it up here on our favorite platform currently. All right, Andrea Agnelli is ready to return. Not today, but we are working on a project that will see the light in 3 years. Juve will be acquired 51% by Andrea, 39% by a Saudi investment fund, and 10% by Exor. So, I guess Elkin.
Dave, zoom in a little bit more. There you go.
Like that big.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can see it. You don't just have to listen to my pretty voice. You can.
Well, I was going to say
read it for yourself.
Yeah.
So, we'll open up the lines and we'll see what you guys feel. I don't care what Dave and Dash feel about it. You guys.
Dude, I'm watching football.
He's watching football. I'm opening
anyways,
the lines.
so you
Link is
guys
coming. Link is coming because we've lost Dave. Here you go.
He's like, touchdown Eagles. We're going to the Super Bowl. I'm good now.
Dude,
We got Saquon Barkley, AJ
dude,
Brown, Jalen
after how last season ended, I would have never expected to be in the Super Bowl the season after.
Yeah, Philly's going to the Super Bowl.
So thank God to the Giants for the gift of Saquon Barkley, who were too dumb to give all their money to Daniel Jones.
All right, Contino Eddie.
And they still cut him.
Hey, listen, guys, I'm not going to have much longer because in 12 minutes I'll be out on the street celebrating because we're going to the Super Bowl. We just scored a touchdown, so it's over.
Eddie, how many cars are you going to flip?
No, I'm way too old for that now. I mean, if I was in my 20s, we won the Super Bowl.
Man. You can still deadlift one.
Well, I know I can, but I have responsibility now, and I can
Fuck the responsibility.
Spending that on court dates. They already won the Super Bowl anyway, so this is like really just casual for me. At least it didn't make this whole weekend a mess because aside from the Juve match, every other possible scenario for us, didn't go right. Fiorentina won; they gained points on us with a match in hand, Milan, and then also we had Inter won, which is never good, and then who else caught us? And one other team caught us too. So now we have like 3 teams. Only like a point or 2 behind us for that 5th spot. That is if Italy gets the 5th spot. So it's not looking very good right now. This is not a very good season for us.
FA's here. How's it going, bud?
Dude, I've been pretty good. I'm also watching the Eagles game a little bit from the side, and I just have to say, I want to punch Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, the guy's a
dude. I hate him so much, man.
You don't understand. As a Bucks fan, I had to deal.
No, but I watched it though, Jeff. I feel with you. I watched him anyways, and
I love
even
when
hate
Evans. Yeah, I love when Evans just gets under his skin. It's freaking awesome. But wow, I don't know. I'm not too surprised about the whole Napoli thing, to tell you the truth.
I thought it was going to be worse than what happened, actually.
I thought it was a 1-score game. But the issue, I was surprised about the first half, but I wasn't at the same time. And then the second half, I saw that, and I thought we were going to be a tie. But unironically, we lost. So there's that.
Yeah, the only bright spot was Cole Mamani. That was it. But, that was off of a fluke bounce, too. But other than that, we had one good shot. That was the Yildiz shot that I don't know how he misses that. Other than that, we did not play very well. I know a lot of people are saying we had a good first half, but that was only because of the, Cambiasso made that interception, which should have set up that Yildiz goal. And then we had that lucky deflection that resulted in the goal. Other than that, I really didn't. Napoli was just pressing us. And then by the second half, our defense was spent. That's the way to get at us, and especially when you have guys who are playing 90 minutes from the beginning of the season on. It's a recipe for a disaster at the end of the year.
Look, my issue is the comments that he made after. Napoli had an entire week to prepare for matches, which is a small advantage. We've been playing so many games, and it showed the second half when we struggled to replicate what we did in the first. Well, no fucking shit.
You're starting to trigger me. This is
Like no shit.
this is my trigger right now. Before we move on, Sal's in the chat as well. How are you doing?
What's up, Sal?
What's going on, boys?
Full
How are you?
man.
He's grizzled. Oh my gosh, Sal, you look like a grizzled vet right now.
Yeah, looking good.
As you can see, no UV gear right now.
He's boycotting.
Yeah, like I did not. To me, the start of a new project doesn't mean we become Excuses FC.
Exactly.
So I don't know, like if he was trying to prove a point by saying that, because if you couple that with some other remarks that he made in terms of, winning isn't an obsession, like I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yep.
So I was so, it's bad enough that, did you not get hired knowing you were going to have to play 5 tournaments in your first season? Why do you think we had the mercado that we did?
Yep.
So and another thing is, as far as this whole new coach, whatever new project, you've had pretty much the same core group of players through the whole season, and you have been playing every 3 days. If at this point, over how many games that we've played, which is quite, it's not a small portion, you haven't been able to instill whatever your philosophy is, or you haven't been able to do it to the point where the players can replicate it throughout 90 minutes, game in and game out, then to me that's a coaching issue.
Yeah,
sure,
exactly.
you could blame the players, right? Of course, it's easy, and there are some who we should be asking questions about, but nobody's forcing you to play Koopmeyers behind the striker every other game. Nobody's forcing you to, have to keep your same formation, week in and week out. There's a couple of things I see. Obviously, he's frustrated, and he should be, because he's woefully underperforming, what the expectation is. And, nobody's saying you have to win the Scudetto, but the whole part of this is that the minimum objective that you have to reach is 4th place. We have a few teams now that can leapfrog us to the point where we're staring at 7th.
And they have a game in hand.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Bologna's right there. Milan just won today.
Fiorentina just won.
Fiorentina.
Yeah.
We needed a draw on that one more than anything. But...
And that's what I'm saying. So it's not like we have a buffer, and we might get. It's a very good chance we're going to get 5 spots again.
Nope.
So we're not there, and the buffer between us and the teams that are chasing us for that 5th spot are pretty much non-existent. So, there's a problem here. So
they also ain't playing in the Champions League either.
I also
but
wanted
a lot of them also didn't have the mercado that we had.
Yeah,
Brought in as many people as we did. So it's like there are no excuses. There are none. Like our problem right now is a mentality one. And if you don't have leaders, then your coach is going to have to be that leader. So like I'm very, very anti, and I put this on Mota. Other people might disagree with me, and that's fine. But for me, this is a Mota problem.
It was a Mota problem from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all, actually. I get where Mota was saying. I just think he shouldn't have said it. I understand that like Conte has one game a week, and usually with Conte, he thrives on these situations. This is like his bread and butter. I get that, but there are things that you can say, and there are things that you shouldn't say. In this situation, you just can't say. You can't say and make excuses after excuses. Oh, we didn't have a big enough bench, or he's playing once a week, or vice versa. You have to motivate the players to perform at the max level with whatever cards you're dealt with. And I feel like Mota doesn't know how to do that. Another problem I noticed in the second half was putting in Bangula to sub him in when I felt like that was a bad matchup for the Napoli game. Napoli was playing very, very physical. I didn't think Mbangula was able to play in those kind of situations. That was also another little thing I wanted to point out. But
yeah, not to mention, the match before against Bruges, he takes him out, and he was our only good player in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Conte was going to press you. They pressed from the first minute, and they pressed to the end. And then even when they were up, they were still trying to score. So, how do you break a heavy press like that?
But Sal,
You need to. But
I'm just
yeah, if the game only lasted 45 minutes, you wouldn't see me as upset as I am. But that's the whole point, right? And this is another thing: teams that are going to press you like that, how do you break the press? By passing well.
And what can we?
And we didn't see that. Exactly, we didn't see that. And the best part is, right? Both of those coaches gave a halftime talk.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them turned the game around.
So
if it's a motivation issue, then if you're telling me the coach can't motivate the players to, do what they need to do for a full game, then again, like, I'm sorry, like this is a coaching issue. And the problem is too, it's like you can say, oh, I see progress here and there, and then you can be like, okay, but like if anything, this is a regression. What did we win?
Yeah.
We only won one game this month.
What progress? I mean, we're 31 matches into the season, and it's the end of January.
We won more than
We
Tottenham,
didn't do
by the way.
nothing yet.
Yeah, right. So now we're comparing ourselves with Tottenham, right? So here's where we are to try to find a silver lining, right? We won. This was everybody said it at the beginning of this year. Our most crucial stretch is in January, and we've won one game.
Yeah.
We won one game.
Listen, I was very outspoken from the very beginning of the season about I did not like the moves we were making from the start. I didn't understand why you totally gut job a squad that, finished top four. We were young. We were growing together. There was promise. We got rid of numerous players. We replaced the midfield, which we had a young midfield intact. We had Moretti. We had Rivelda coming back. We would have Fagioli coming back, and possibly if Pogba got his suspension overturned. So we were good there. We needed another striker, and we needed more defenders, and that's the two spots we didn't pick up. We've been dealing with Vlahovic all year. He's definitely not the guy. We get rid of Keane, which I was for, but we didn't replace him. Our defense, we got lucky with Cole and Cabal, but now Cabal and Bremer are both gone. Now we're left, with guys, who are obviously dead tired now. And, Savona, he's good and all. He's going to be a promising player, but you can't throw a Serie C player in onto a top squad and have him playing 90 minutes, sometimes 2-3 matches a week. He's going to wear out, It's the guy played great, but, I mean, you could obviously see he's having the growing pains now. I just don't understand why we dismantled a squad that had promise last year. It looked good. I liked, the current players. We have to remember we also got rid of Chiesa because he didn't fit the mode of fashion. He didn't like this player. He was dead wrong on the whole McKennie thing because now McKennie's obviously one of our best players, but we tried to get rid of him to bring in, originally to bring in this bum Luis, and then the casualty of that was Ilan Jr., who was another player who I thought was a good up-and-coming guy. Now, luckily, and Bangor, he filled in that role perfectly, and he's a shining star. But other than that, we should have kept the team we had last year, aside from Thuram, because I don't like bringing in all these foreign players because they'll never understand what it means to play for Juve. Thuram, obviously, for the reason of his father, he understands. The rest of these guys, they're mercenaries. They're using our club as a stepping stone to advance their career. Or in Koopmeiner's case, he got his payday with us. And now, I think he's like just being lackadaisical. This was his big move.
Because he's favored now. We talked about that where he wasn't going to have favorites, but it's clear that he has favorites. And those are the guys that are underperforming right now. Like Coop.
I really think that Koopmeiners, and you can obviously see it because Atalanta hasn't skipped a beat. I think he was a product of Gasparini. Because everyone else, his replacements are playing great. David lost Scamacca. They bring in Redigui, who's on fire. And you look at Bologna, they're exactly where they were last season without Moda coaching them. Plus, they lost Calafiori. And
They lost Calafiore, they lost Xerxes,
Yeah.
and they're actually performing better than they
So
were
was it-
last season, playing
Yes.
more competitions.
So was it really Mota who was, the great genius behind that? We're obviously seeing possibly not the way this guy has. We spent over $200 million on all these, new big, shiny, flashy signings, and we're in fifth place right now. We took a step back because you knew Napoli was going to come back again. We're only having one competition. These moves we made absolutely no sense at all, and I was against them all except for Thuram from the beginning. And believe me, I've gotten numerous arguments on the other three Juve podcasts. But some people who disagree with me on this, but it's obviously showing now.
Yeah. So, how do you guys feel then? Just pop this up here. We're gonna keep him next season, regardless.
That's what got me.
Well,
That's trash.
So
Dude,
it is.
that is trash.
It is, but the problem is though, because here's the problem. Because if Gentili sacks him, then it's on him. Because remember,
I don't
be.
care.
They're a package to me. They're both
don't
failing.
care.
no, I
The guy
understand.
making the decision does care.
I don't care.
Guys,
If-
I'm just the messenger.
Hey.
Chill. Because
Hey,
the reason why. Go ahead.
Okay. No.
Still,
Get
man,
the
the Eagles
fuck-
just scored
reason-
again, and why you mad?
I
for
know.
it?
Why are you
25
mad?
points.
David, chill. It's the Eagles. They're winning.
No,
You're going to the Super Bowl.
no,
You got
it's not-
Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown,
it's all
Devontae
good.
Smith.
Oh.
You're gonna teabag Pat Mahomes. Maybe get 15 roughing the passer penalties, and maybe Max will come back. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the
No.
reason why I'm saying this is because after the Coppa Italia, after all of that shit that went down, a good conglomerates of us here were like, dude, for the shit you just pulled, for the big balls move that you did, that's
You mean
ironic.
this? You mean this day?
That day,
That day.
you better get this right. Now you
Look,
guys
Oh,
go
man,
ahead.
I love Max for
Go
that.
ahead and talk.
Look, what my thing on it is from a sports management view, yeah, because that's my actual job, and if I see destructive management that's not working together, that understand what expectations are, how you have to perform in your job and stuff like that, that aggravates me. So that's why I'm angry. Look, you have Cristiano Giuntoli, who is sacrificing player after player, terminating contracts left, right, and center of players of our past head coach, because he wants to implement his sporting side, his managers, his players, his coach, his trainers, and everything that came at the start of this season is on him. So he has to take responsibility. And if he doesn't, then the board has to relieve him of his duties. Because if the guy you implemented, you turned the whole club over to that coach, to his philosophy, you bought players for that philosophy. How many wingers did we get for that philosophy, for example? We bought a whole new damn midfield, couple of center backs. Okay, we needed them anyways, but we rebuilt and spent money on the whole squad. We got Thiago Motta. We have to pay him. We have to pay all his coaching staff, all his new medical staff, which seems to be performing as bad as Max's did at that point, or even worse. So if we don't reach our expectations of top four, that's not negotiable. I don't care whoever the fuck the coach is. You can be Carlo Ancelotti if you miss top four with Juventus, with above 200 million spent, with a squad that is still filled with stars. Even though
exactly.
yes, center backs net out, but to not reach top four with this squad, you deserve to be sacked.
Or even top
And
five.
And if you're, or even top five, reach the Champions League, I don't care. But if you're not able to qualify to the Champions League, you deserve to get your ass fired. And if the sporting director doesn't have the balls to fire him, if I'm the board, I sack both of them.
Yeah, that's a 2-year setback if we don't make it, and not only that, but
No,
we're gonna have to cut. We're gonna have to cut.
Yeah.
A lot of players because we can't afford them.
We have to
fewer
sell
matches.
Yildiz.
Yeah, he'll definitely be gone. And I haven't heard anything about the Constantiel renewal. That kind of died. I think we know why. He's definitely going to go visit it, play with his father. I don't think he's going to be with us anymore. And then, obviously Cambiasso is going to have to go because he's pure profit. So, and we're going to be stuck with Louise and Coop Miners who just don't pan out. We're going to have to find another striker. I want Vlahovic gone, but who can we really get to replace him?
Randall.
But he's on loan.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, bro.
He won't even be back for the Club World Cup. He'll be playing for PSG, maybe against us in the knockout stages there if we get there. So, so unless, we actually do buy him, but I doubt PSG is going to give him up for the Club World Cup.
They paid like 95. No, they're going to lose too much money. If they can recoup them somehow, then they're doing it.
Here's my question that I kind of want to throw out there.
Sorry. And by the way, our not the sporting management, but the financial management and the CFOs and those guys, they haven't even found us a main sponsor. We are 6 months into the season.
My other question is, where the hell are they? Because remember,
nobody is talking.
I was going to say, remember last season?
Nobody's ever going to the press, being transparent. Nobody's sharing news. Are there negotiations? There's nothing.
Like, where did they all go?
I wanted to say one thing about the Malta deal. I'm starting to think that we're gonna keep him for a couple years and use the Arteta method, which again is stupid. Whereas we got the second youngest team in the league, and clearly we need a lot more older and more experienced players, some veterans to be able to revitalize this team. We need characters, particularly charismatic figures, to be able to push our squad, kind of like I would say with the Zlatan Ibrahimovic deal when he came to Milan and Pioli's second season, and that kind of scenario. We need somebody that's able to bolster morale, particularly for morale boost, because Mota can't do it. I don't think he's capable of pulling any such strings. I think he tries to do tactical things, like wants to instill the 7-2 is it the 7-2-7 formation or the it doesn't matter. But the point is that tactics do not mean shit, and I think he needs to look at these players individually and able to see their strengths and weaknesses and utilize their strengths that way. Putting Coop as a 10 again is just stupid. It's never going to work. I think his best position is to try him as an 8. I think he will thrive in that situation. What I see with Coop Miners is what I'm seeing with Locatelli under Allegri when he put him as a regista.
Can I say this really quick? So in terms of formation stuff, and again, I like to say, I feel like putting on a clown face when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to watch Mota Ball, even though I have no clue what Mota Ball is. Because here's what I hear when people who are fans of this tiki-taka style of non-results driven possession. I hear it's defense-oriented coach. We're leaking a shit ton of goals. I'm hearing ultra aggressive with regaining possession when we're off the ball. I only saw one team doing that yesterday, and it wasn't us.
I wanted to point back another thing, because that was another criticism I've been making weekly is when we score a goal, when we're 1 goal ahead, we have this tendency of going to gear 0 and just not playing with the same intensity.
Would that be neutral?
Neutral doesn't really matter. Point is, we're not playing with the same intensity. We're not trying to go for the second goal, the third goal. When I saw that with AC Milan, that was a different thing. Now with Napoli, it was just completely nothing. They weren't pressing. They didn't know what to do with the ball when they received it, and then the other team started pressing the ball. I remember Cambiasso made the mistake when they tied the goal, where he lost that ball, and then they crossed it to I forgot who was the first guy that scored, because I forgot his name.
Angucia,
yeah. He scored, And then obviously Locatelli decided to make another mistake, the same one as Milan. Point is, we didn't react properly, and we just didn't know what we were doing. We got outcoached. Like, honestly, we just simply got outcoached in the second half. Like, that's what happened. Like, Conte knows what he's doing. Malta doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know how to react in pressure.
But this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
I just had one little thought there because you made the whole like put it in gear 0. There's that song. It says put it in neutral and turn on the cruise control. Do you know what lyric that is?
Beck.
I'm a loser, baby.
I was just waiting for you to say it. Oh no!
All right, so there it is. Go ahead, Sal. Sorry.
Kill the headlights and put it in neutral.
Yeah, and then he
knows
says,
what he's talking about.
Yeah, you probably do. Kill the headlights, put it in neutral. Yeah, and then he says, put on the cruise control or something. Anyways.
And then put it in her mouth. What?
Yeah, don't ruin the joke. You know what? Don't ruin the joke.
Listen, guys, I got to get going.
All right, but
he's got cars to flip. All right, Eddie.
Right. 5 minutes. All right,
make sure you stretch your hamstrings and your lower back before you flip them, boys.
Eddie's got to go for him. I know. He can
I was already
anything.
on my inversion table earlier. I'm good to go. All nice and limber.
Fuck yeah.
See you. All right,
get after him, brother. See you later, man.
Good night, buddy.
But this is the thing, right? What do we all know watching this team week in and week out? What is one of our really big deficiencies, especially on the defensive side?
Unprepared, poor marking. Sorry, go.
Right, and we suck on set pieces.
Aerial duels. Yep.
And on top of that, aerial duels. What did you see Conte from minute 1 do yesterday?
Aerials.
Cross after cross after cross in the box. And if you looked at the split between corner kicks, right? So set piece wise, last I checked, it might even want to be more at the end because I tuned out the last 10 minutes just because I couldn't, I could barely do it anymore. At one point, it was like 8-1 in terms of advantage for Napoli for corner kicks. He knew where to hit us. He knew how to hit us. And they were doing that from the beginning. So if at this point, like, we all know how big of a loss Bremer is. Bremer was a boss, both defending set pieces and being a scoring threat on set pieces. If you need something to replace in terms of characteristics until he gets back for a center back, that's what you should be looking for, which we have not found. And we're 4 days away from the end of the winter mercado.
So Debo's back in conversation.
Can I ask this though? Because
we will not get any new players in with 3 days left.
Because
unless we're severely overpaying.
I want to. Yeah.
With which money if we don't sell Cambiaso?
I mean, that's what I'm gonna get down to. I think if we sell Cambiaso within this week, then that's when it's gonna happen. Yeah.
But seriously though, can I ask this question to the point where it's just like, how long are we going to scapegoat Bremer's ACL tear for all of this?
Yeah, we shouldn't.
For some of us, probably all season.
I can't. Like, I'm on Twitter and I'm literally looking. Man, if Bremer was healthy, we wouldn't have dropped all those points and yada yada yada.
It's called a team, not a player. Like, you can't put it on one player.
No. That's not on Bremer's fault. No, that's on the coach.
The second Bremer went down in that game, Giuntoli should have been on his PC and searching through names that fit his profile.
He seems like the kind of guy that uses a Mac, though.
Honestly,
I don't care what he uses. If he uses Windows,
have you seen those glasses? He's a Mac guy.
But what I'm saying, your best player is going down. Yes, our best defensive players are our best player as well. In my opinion, because he was the anchor, he was, and by how good he was defending, he was setting the pace. And if you don't concede goals, the game has a whole new dynamic. So I think he's the most essential player to us. And he went down, and for him to not had a deal lined up immediately for the winter mercato is criminal to me. Bremer's replacement should have been there within the first 7 days of the mercato to get the deal over.
I have an unpopular opinion. We should have got Ramos. I'm not saying he was going to be our best defender. But
No, he won.
I
But
don't
I
think
said
we are. I
earlier-
don't think we were.
Dude,
No,
Jeff,
but
we
here's
should
the
have
thing.
got. We should have gotten Hermoso, who is at Roma, and now they are about to sell him and make profit on him. They signed him on a free deal.
here's the
Or
thing.
we own
We
people
should've-
like
we should've
Danilo
got
and
them.
The reason
Rugani
why
and
I'm saying
DeShilio.
Ramos, I want, like I said, it's as I stated it earlier. We need somebody with a charisma too. He was the right character to be able to put these youngsters at their shit too. I think we needed that kind of personality in the locker room, not only necessarily because I think he was a great defender. I think he was washed, but I think he would have been great as a leader to be able to galvanize our defense to some degree. And I feel like he would have been a good personality for locker room purposes.
Mhm.
So
But-
let me
but that's not-
let me play devil's advocate real quick on it.
Go ahead.
So what I think, and one of the reasons why it wasn't entertained, is because what happens if Ramos's personality doesn't mesh well with Gentili and Mota?
No, that's exactly it. That's why
That's what I
we
think.
don't get these guys.
That's what I think it is, right? I think that's
but
what the concern is. Because, like, for
I
example,
know
Pioli is
this-
a cuck.
No.
Like
I get this. I'm not disagreeing with that. My thing is, okay, you don't want that kind of personality. Okay, fine, be as it may, but you got to take the responsibility to galvanize the locker room. If you're not going to do it,
I don't disagree
that's
with you.
okay, cool. And I think that's perfectly fine. Know your limitations, know what you're capable of, and then hire somebody else to do whatever weaknesses you have. If you're this tactician, cool, fine, be my guest. But if you're, but you can't galvanize the players, fine, but get somebody to do it for you. You
It
have
sounds
to know
like-
your limitations.
No, it just sounds like they're a bunch of yes men at the end of the day. They're all just stroking each other off, patting each other on the backs, and you're doing a great job. Meanwhile, the ship is fucking sinking. But they can't see it through their own fucking bias between each other. I think that's what that's what it's appearing to me, because Gentoli got Motta. This is his project. He doesn't want to fail. He's gonna protect the guy. And meanwhile, I mean, how many times do we have to mention all the dudes that we pushed out of the club? And now here we are talking about no identity, no leadership, no character,
No depth.
no
That-
fucking shit.
Yes.
No fucking shit, man.
And if just so like people are like, oh hey, what are the ramifications of missing out on UCL?
100 mil.
Right. Obviously, your bottom line there. You then number two, you become a selling club. So we will be a selling club.
Are you
I
going
still
to a
think we
full
are, though.
rebuild?
I
It's
still
a full
think
rebuild.
we're a selling club regardless.
Well, no, but we haven't. Who have we sold of our best players that we had to
think-
sell?
I think
Nobody,
we had
because
to sell.
nobody,
I
nobody
wanted to
because
reiterate it in the
that's
sense that we're transitioning to a selling club. My bad.
Well, that transition will
so-
be permanent if we
so-
don't make
so-
UCL
so-
for sure.
Look, you can say half and half. We are a selling club. We are not a selling club. We are a selling club in the way of we sold most of our young players or sent them out on loan, and we are about to sell them on loan obligations, loan options, and stuff like that. And we didn't sell any one of our big players because nobody wanted Vlahovic. It is that way. Nobody wanted Chiesa until he was at the last year of his contract for 12 million. Nobody wanted him. And Locatelli, as much as we love him now, nobody even bought him when he was 2 years ago one of the best midfielders, and there were offers of 60 to 70 million on the table for
Nobody
him.
wants Fajoli.
By a selling club, I would say selling the players that you feel are central to your project.
Like Yildiz.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah,
like a
but-
Yildiz, like a Bremer, right?
I agree.
Obviously,
And
we don't have as many because we're a pretty weak squad right now
Is-
through multiple reasons. But we're going to have to be forced to sell our centerpieces. We don't have a few, but we're going to be forced to do it. And
I
then if
agree.
you're telling me you want to keep Mota on for a second year, regardless because of air quotes project, if he can't get this job done in terms of keeping us in Europe's premier competition while also being a legitimate consideration for winning the league, what makes you think he's going to be able to do that by having less resources than he has now?
You know, part of me wants to say this, and I want to kind of see if you also piggyback on this, Sal, too. The term project to me irritates the holy fuck out of me. The reason why is because in football, there's no such thing as a fucking project if you're one of the top 10 clubs in the world. There is no.
Dash, just to agree with you, the term project shouldn't be there in football at all because football is continuously.
You cut him off to agree with him?
Yeah, no, that's
Yes.
that's
No. I just want to emphasize how right he is, but there shouldn't be the term project used at all, like in football, because you're working continuously, season to season. Like there shouldn't be.
Exactly, because like the only time you can sit there and say like that terminology is fitting is like, for example, if you're at the Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions, if you are at a historically shitty franchise and then you go in there and then you revamp everything, you essentially like same thing with any other sports. Like, for example, I would say in the top four sport or in the four sports in the US, MLB, NHL, NBA, and NFL, where I think that term can make sense because you have a draft, you have a way that you're actually building year after year. We're in footy where I don't agree with there being a project. I think it's, again, can you run your business well? Can you bring in assets? Can you remove assets well? There's no trading, there's no picks, there's none of that in football or in footy, because it doesn't work that way, where it's like, for example, oh yeah, a 3-year project in the NFL works because you start at the bottom, you draft great players, and then you work your way up.
Because you draft better. For those who don't know,
but
you draft higher up.
On top of that, in the NFL, if you're doing shit, you kind of get rewarded in a way with draft picks.
Look at the Commanders,
Yes.
even though they got slapped by Philly. But anyways, but still, kind of getting back to
burger.
50 burger. Fuck you, Ben Johnson. I'm just kidding. But anyway, when I look at it from that, and I get irritated when I hear people say, "Oh, Juve's a project, Juve's a project, Juve's a project," dude. We're the pinnacle of Italian football.
Dude, we're going to be living in the project.
We were the pinnacle.
No,
yeah, Conference League. We're going to be living in the Europe version.
Hey, we're about to
in Belgrade.
We're doing the Balkan World Tour.
Hey,
Stop it.
we will do.
Where Man U's
Hey,
hanging out at right now.
I'm ready. Hey, whenever our Balkan road trip happens, I'm in.
Yeah, man. We're going to Belgrade, guys. We're doing
but
it.
Dash, I like the analogy you're using, right? Because basically you can interchange the word project with culture, right? Especially when you're talking about in the perspective of clubs who have never really performed well, who don't have a winning history, that are trying to get to that, then yeah, you need to change the culture.
Also,
so that's the process.
The culture matters. Yes, I agree with that. Now, I know you guys don't like the tiki-taka game. Like, I know not everybody agrees, which is fine. That has its downpours. But I think with one thing about Pep Guardiola, whether we like him or not, there is one thing he does. If you fuck up, he will chew you out. He will put your ass accountable. Mm-hmm. Again, we don't have to like his philosophy. That's fine. But Malta needs to chew these players out and tell them, get your fucking act together.
And guys like Klopp, too. Like, didn't he have a mean streak to him?
Yes, you got to have a bit of a mean streak. You got to put these guys accountable. That is it. That's what we need right now. We need a guy to chew them out. Not necessarily, like, offend them or by all means, but like in a way that says, here, this is where you screwed up. You have to work on this. You're a fucking professional. You're getting paid money. You got to work on this. Whatever position we're speaking at.
No, easy churro. Eat them out. There's a couple ways. Did one of us say that? Does somebody need to get clipped?
Oh, please, hey, timestamp that shit. Timestamp that shit.
It is timestamped. We'll have to look back at that one.
we gotta find that. That's juicy.
I think the pinnacle being a coach, I think what makes a top tier coach is you look at your players and what you have, the cards you're dealt, and you gotta piece them to your best advantage possible. It's nice to have a philosophy. If you're gonna do a philosophy, like Malta says, then yeah, we're expected not to make it in the Champions League, and we're probably going to have like young players, and we're going to be a couple years off, and we're going to get financially fucked, and we'll probably get Saudi money, maybe not. I don't really care, but then we're just going to have to be patient. If this is the game that we're doing, then brace yourselves. That's all I'm going to say.
But if that's the case,
brace your fucking self.
if that's the case, then your 19-year-old star attacking midfielder should be developing in the attacking midfielder role.
I agree. Again, Mota
Yes.
doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. It's like he's learning to coach a top tier club. He might have done well with Bologna, where he was not competing with as many. It didn't have as much competitions, and there wasn't much pressure regarding to a top four. But this is a completely different overhaul. Bottom line.
What were we saying last year when we kind of knew, Max was on the way out, and we were talking about potential coaches or whatever.
We just said
And
cautious optimism.
Italiano.
They were listing them all, right?
I said Italiano.
But even then, Italiano, Palladino, right? Mota was in there. Tudor was getting thrown around, and
Conte,
a few people. But even Conte, right? But the problem with Conte was, if Conte would have been coming in a Napoli situation, that's a no-brainer, right? But our thing was, hey, we still have a standard here. We're going to be competing in Champions League and stuff. We want to be as competitive as possible. And Conte's track record, when he has to do multiple competitions, is not good.
I agree with that.
He excels. He excels in this,
Yeah.
right? But we were talking about we need to go after a bigger coach. We need to be somebody in who has a winning pedigree, right? Mota outperformed expectations, I guess, because Bologna is not used to fifth place, but that's not what we were looking for. Plus, Mota didn't have any experience with multiple competitions. We were talking about like, hey, if Deschamps is going to leave, you know what I mean? Like that's something we could look at. Somebody who knows what it's like to win. Everybody would say, "Oh, Max." When Max was making top four, like, "Oh, that's the expectation. Like that's what we should be aiming for." Blah 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 blah. And now we're hearing, "Oh, well, trust the process." Like, no, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. No, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I think if we were going to get Conte, the best time for us to get Conte was the 2023 season, 2024 season.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was
in hindsight
Conte on that year, and that would have made a lot of sense.
I mean, in hindsight, it's so easy to say. Absolutely, I was against Conte because I didn't think he would work well with the club. At this point, we need Conte to fuck on Gentoli and just fuck on everyone. Be like, you guys are idiots.
Because to be honest with you, I didn't anticipate Conte fucking essentially getting De Laurentiis to fuck off. Like that to me, that was one of the the biggest shock of the season. Like I did not expect him to fuck off De Laurentiis the way that he's fucked off.
I think maybe.
Like, have you heard De Laurentiis anywhere? Has anybody seen anything? Has anybody like has he come out of his basement at all this year?
I think De Laurentiis. I think when they had that deal for Conte to come, I think maybe that might have been one of Conte's wishes to have full overhaul of the squad, to have his say, and that he would have to back down.
No, De Laurentiis had to. Great. He had to put his tail between his legs because of the disaster class of the coaching carousel he put the team through, especially coming off recently from a championship, right? Like you can't. We didn't fall immediately, right? We've been falling over the years. Napoli was just like, okay, you're crap now, right? So he had to do something, and De Laurentiis ran away with his tail between his legs, got Conte, and said, he said to himself, I'm a fucking idiot, I gotta go all in. And that's what he did, and it's paying off.
Yeah, but when Conte starts pulling what he did in Coppa Italia this year, where he just said he threw in a second-rate squad, and he starts doing that when he's back in Champions League, you're going to start to hear grumblings again.
But are we not at the point? Are we not getting to the point now, though, that if we don't qualify for the Champions League, that who gives a fuck? Then we need to focus on one thing, and that's the league. That's when you do bring in a guy like Conte and say, fuck everything else. And maybe for Napoli, that's okay. And the fact that Juve's getting to that point, well, we are going to have to learn to be okay with that if we continue down this.
Or theory number two, which is probably a bad theory. Malta's focusing on trying to get higher in the Champions League. I know it sounds crazy, but that could be the case. If they're looking at this in a financial standpoint.
Not if we watch that Club Brugge game.
Did you watch that game?
No. Obviously, I agree. I fucking agree. I'm just saying maybe he's thinking of it that way. I don't really think so, but that's another theory. I'd say it's very unlikely, but it's just thought-provoking stuff. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Look, number one, Mad Max will never return as long as Giuntoli is there. Forget that. We just keep Max out of our mouth, honestly. All of us want him. All of us wanted him to stay here, by the way.
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
But
And honestly,
neither of us did.
I think Coop Miners would have done it tremendously better under Max.
Dude,
Though
can you
Loco was going
imagine?
to suffer, but yes.
Can you imagine Cope Miners in that midfield?
And we
You
would
could
still
have-
have
You could
DeShilio, we
have
would
a
still have
rotation.
Brugani.
You could have a
Rugani?
rotation
No,
with
but
what? With Locatelli and Douglas Luiz playing the holding mid, and then the eights being Thuram and Coop would have been a great thing with like 3-man on the back. I would have liked that.
No,
Look,
the back four is
what-
where it's at, guys.
It's gotta
Look,
be.
Again,
Look
I
what-
don't-
what my-
I don't
Meanwhile,
give
it's
a
not a
shit
real
what
back
you're
four.
playing.
because-
I don't give a shit at the end of the day. Even that, like, I don't give a shit if it's a back 4-3 or a back 20. The point is that like we need to like get the winning culture first. Like, I don't care. Any particular tactic to me is fine as long as we got the identity and the winning mentality. If we don't have that, we're fucked. I don't care what kind of
it's sad.
tactic we're
I was
playing.
thinking about our captains today, right? Because he made Loca
We-
captain, and
We
I
don't
feel bad for
have
Loca because it's like,
captains.
well, I mean, he actually like I think in Mota's like one of his last press conferences, he sort of said like, hey, if
Yeah.
Loca's playing, he's our guy. And again,
sure.
it's unfair to Loco, just like it was unfair to Danilo, right? Because who else is going to step up when you don't have any real leaders? And the sad part is, I'm sitting there and I'm like, for me, like our last true captain for me was Chiellini, but even
Mhm.
now, I'm like, you know what, like. Fuck, like even Bonucci wouldn't have stood for this.
You know
No.
what?
And it's sad when I gotta say that because I'm like,
He
I
might
got
have,
beef
though.
with
I think
Bonucci,
so.
but Jesus
Give-
Christ.
Give Loca some time. I do think he will become a good captain. I
The
think he
problem
will
is, right,
develop. He's still young.
we don't have it. That's the
No,
sad
we don't
part.
have
and
it.
I
but
agree
do
with you.
think-
I agree with you.
I
We
do
just
think
don't have it.
stick with him. I think it's better to stick with Loca.
Yeah,
Yes,
with
it's
us,
not
with
gonna
what we
be
have right
perfect.
now, with our options now, sure. I agree. I agree.
I
100%.
think with what we have now, stick with him. Let him develop that leadership role. I think he's got capabilities. I see it. But just give him time. On that end, just for that part, I'm just saying give him some time.
As long as he's not slip sliding like he did,
I mean,
like,
for fuck's sake, Stevie G did it and it cost him the league.
fucking hell, man. I love. Don't get me wrong. I get the whole Italian core thing with Juve. Being an Italian, like that's great. But Jesus Christ, like the biggest blunders I'm seeing this year. You know who from? Gatti, Loca, and Cambiaso are consistent
they are
biggest
also-
blunders.
They're also asked to do quite a lot too. And they play so much. It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like they do so much good, but they just because they're doing everything, it's only a matter of time till they fuck it up. And they are fucking up because they're playing 90 minutes day in, day out, and they don't have any backup. Like McKennie is your backup. And yeah, Bones, like you're not the first person. More and more people are saying this, that McKennie should be the cat. Why the hell isn't he the asshole that's not in charge?
I feel like McKennie is.
He's been there longer than Loca.
I do think though with McKennie, I don't know how he behaves like in the locker room. I don't know if he has that like the put in foot on the ground. I think he's a good soldier. Like I think he works his ass off on the field and he's very intelligent. I just don't know. I don't see McKennie like necessarily as a captain material to line up the guys and say, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
At this
he's like a
point,
jokester. Like I think he's kind of like a troll jokester type of guy.
no, you know who's a fucking troll is Mata because he's already had 6 fucking captains this season. What's a fucking 7th at this point? Roll him in, see what he does.
He's excelled at everything else you put him in.
Exactly. You don't think he can do it? Fuck it. Just because you think he can't do it, he's gonna fucking do it better than anyone else. Throw him in. Fucking see what the Texan can do. We'll fucking shut you fucking wops up. Like you know any better. Clearly the Italians aren't figuring it out. The goddamn Frenchmen aren't figuring it out. Get the American in there. He'll fucking do it.
Could you imagine how many jokes I could make out of that? Just like, way to go! The Italians fuck it up. They have to call the Yanks in.
Is World War II again?
May as well be, man.
It's like the reversal of the Stellantis FCA takeover.
On whose side is Elon, by the way?
Who's what?
Jeez. I
On
mean,
whose
have we ever
side
had
is
an
Elon?
have we ever had a captain with autism before? I don't know. Possible.
No.
Bonucci.
Maybe if we had Cassano in the squad,
I
he'd be
think
like
maybe
my
Bonucci.
equivalent if Elon was a footballer.
No.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Oh, yeah.
as a captain, I think that goes to Bonucci. Bonucci would be the perfect, slightly autistic. Yes.
No, but look from an. Let me be honest for a second. Look, you get a new young coach. Yes, you have to support him and get players for him to implement his philosophy. Yeah, you have to do that. But to throw the kitchen sink on that one coach before he has proven you anything is criminal. Like, look at our squad from last season. Yeah, Chesney in goal, Perrine and Pinsolio. Okay, Chesney, I get that you can't sell him because he's not good at at his feet. With his feet, we were screaming at that. We got Di Gregorio on loan for a very cheap by obligation. Okay, you do that deal, right? I don't think anybody disagrees there.
Yeah,
We
there's
had
a
Bremer, we
couple,
had
but yeah.
we had Bremer, we had Gatti, we had Jallo. Jallo disappointed, so we had to get him out. Danilo, even though we were saying he is slowing down slowly, I was saying we have to keep him, but keep him as a backup, right
Mhm.
back, not
Okay.
center back where he's exposed. Keep him as a backup for the right back. Guess what? Savona, in my opinion, showed me that he's good enough to be started on the right side. And if you interchange him with Danilo sometimes, for me that's good enough without spending money so far, except on Di Gregorio. You have Cambiaso on your books anyway. We got Cabal as a backup, which is pretty cheap, which is also good. Like it's a good deal, right? So we sent out Kostic. Sandro's contract left out. De Chilio, we sent him out on loan. And that leaves us with, did we have Kalulu, even though he's good, that we have to buy him, for example, if we kept Rugani? Is Kalulu that much, like, does he improve your squad depth that much that you had to buy him or get him on loan with obligation instead of keeping Rugani?
Well, here's the thing, Dave. You're kind of wasting your time because once we don't qualify for the Champions League and we have to sell Bremer and Yildiz and all that guy, we're gonna have a back four of De Chilio, Gatti, Rugani, and Savona. So fuck it. There you go.
Yep.
It's already be here. We
No,
got.
my problem is just I'm saying we spent so much money without having needed to spend that amount of money.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to sell him next year and play De Chilio.
But the thing is, like these guys that we brought in, people are like, I know, like Pugino Eddie, he's got a real beef, and I can't blame him. Like you can make an argument for having a beef with any of our signings right now. These are not bad players. You're not going to tell me Koop Miner is a shit player. You're not going to tell me Luis is a shit player.
No.
You're not going to
Never,
tell me Nico
never,
Gonzalez is a shit player. And you're going to have a harder time convincing me that all three of them became a shit player right away.
They're not.
Right? So to bring it back, right? Like
I don't think
he can't integrate them. He can't integrate them. Whatever his style of system is, he can't integrate them.
No, he can't. Sell all of them are incredible players, and we were on the side of all of them. And I was the one. I don't know. Maybe I forgot someone that said I wouldn't have gotten Cope Miners even though he's great. We could have gotten other options for cheaper. We didn't have to spend all that money on him. There are options that can play hybrid 8s and 10s there, like in every single league, football league. Like to bet everything on Cope Miners, in my opinion, shows me that he doesn't do his scouting properly. There are players in the Bundesliga that play that position incredibly well, and you could have got them for 10 to 20 million around that area. You could have snatched them away before Bayern or Dortmund or Leverkusen snatched them up from the other teams. Stuttgart's whole squad is filled with talents. You saw that how they played against us.
Sadly, I was there.
Jeff, for example, Jeff Chabot, the center back that we seem to be interested in, he went to them from a previously relegated side from Köln. He went to Stuttgart. At Köln, he was just a pure 1v1 defender. No passing, none of that. He was basically a Bremer but French. And he went to Stuttgart. And their coach Sebastian Hoeneß, which I'm who I'm always telling you he's De Zerbi-esque in his build-up play. He made him or taught him how to implement passing, and now he's a mid-block defending center back who is initiating the offense with his feet. If you had done your scouting properly, you could have found players like that, for example. And that would have helped as well. You didn't need to go out there to Milan, get Kalulu, and I don't know, spend how much what. And there are all good players. All of us agree, I think. Nico Gonzalez, I am still not
I
just
like
I
him,
was.
Nico.
Dude, I love him.
I like him.
He's a great goal scorer. His dribblings are great. His chance conversion, when he gets them, he puts most of them away. Like he is really good. But I'm just of the opinion that we could have spent our money so much wiser than what we did for a coach that hasn't proven anything yet.
No, that's not wrong. No, that's a good
The
point.
problem is, though, if you're bringing in those players for a new coach, playing all these competitions, having to, at minimum, qualify to Champions League, it would have been a bad look for sure. And it probably would have projected that Junsley brought this coach in and he's not serious, right?
What
So
do you
I get it. But that's the thing, like you have our issue last time with Allegri was, hey, we couldn't bring in anybody. We didn't have a Mercado. We didn't reinforce, right? You have a couple of players there that are pretty good, but you have to make do with what you have. Everybody was saying last year we had a lack of technical ability in the squad.
ball
Yeah,
playing?
that's why
Ball
we got
playing.
Charlie Alcaraz, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And I also think it's because Giuntoli knew he wasn't going to continue with Allegri, so he didn't want to waste whatever resources he had on a coach he wasn't going to continue with. Fair enough, that's your call. But
Yeah.
how Mota? So when you're telling me like, hey, we have way more technical ability in the field now than we did last, and it's just that Mota hasn't figured out how to get the best out of all of them, then that's telling me like he puts philosophy over personnel, and then you need to fit. But then it's like, well, then if you can't fit the players in to your philosophy or your style of play, then that means your general manager didn't give you what you needed. I have a hard time believing that, he said, hey, Mota, who do you need? Mota gave him players and he just can't figure out how to use them. So to me, that's the brunt of the issue there. I don't have a problem. We would all be fine with the players that he brought in if we were getting whatever, if we were getting at least minimum expectation. And then we can just say, hey, we can reinforce the squad next year after we did this, at least, because we'll get that money coming in and we can, we'll have a progression there. But we haven't even we haven't won more than 2 games in the league all year.
We haven't won 2 games in a row since August.
So I mean, like, what are we talking about here, guys? Like, how is it? And you know what? Oh, it's not unfair. No, like, you're a Juve coach. You're on the hot seat when you don't perform. That is part of the job. That is already an expectation, and that is something you need to accept before you come into the role. So again, like for me, it's a coach problem for me, man. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that it's, at what point do we say like, we need to reverse course. I mean, we're still in it. We're still not far from 5, but like, I really hate having to go on another diatribe in 2 months when, when we're, I'm already sitting here and I got to watch what Bologna, Fiorentina are doing. Like I'm already scoreboard watching guys who are, teams that are classic, mid-table squads. So it's not a cool place to be.
I would say Malta needs to change his formation. Just change
But
it.
he doesn't. He doesn't.
He
That's
has
the
to
thing.
do
He
it.
doesn't.
You have no choice. Improvisation matters at this point. Conte did it with 4-man defense. He was a 3-man in the back guy. He did it quickly. He went for a 4-man back. I mean, it's just
how many times did Allegri change formations?
But he did it. I remember in the 2022-2023 season, we were losing game after game because of all the injuries, and then all of a sudden he changed, tweaked up a couple things, improvised, and we were winning for some time. And then obviously the deduction of the 15 points doesn't help your morale, but like he kind of reacted in a way that was beneficial all the way up till November.
He kept 3-5-2 because that's the team he inherited. He inherited the 3-5-2, and then eventually
He couldn't
wound
do
up
anything
switching
else.
up. Yeah, he switched up. He got a couple of Mercados for guys that would fit what he wanted to do, and then he implemented it, and he kept winning. Right? So it's like, you know.
You're just gonna have to do like a 4-3-3 with a holding mid, and then utilize your star signing Coop Miners to an 8, and utilize the wings and actually start using Kolomwani. I thought that was actually a pretty decent signing. Yes, I wish it could have been an option to buy. That would have been nice, but I thought Kolomwani didn't do bad in that game, regardless of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, are you really telling me that if you have Kolomwani and then you have Nico, Yildiz, and Conceição behind him, you're really telling me like you can't do anything with that?
I don't know why you couldn't. It's actually quite insane, right? like so you would have let's put a 4-3-3 together real quick. Obviously, you can have Nico left, Polo, Dusan center, whatever. Chico right, Yildiz as the 10. You have Thuram and Coop as the pivot.
Yeah.
And then back four of choice, whatever. Bing bang boom. Try it out. Or try for 3-5-2. I don't care. Try something out. The point is like you can go on Football Manager or FIFA or whatever tactical board program and just dick around with that all day and see what happens. See what happens.
I just think also with Coop again, it's like he's always dropping back. He's always dropping back to receive the ball. So I'm thinking, okay, put him in the pivot, see how it works. If not, do a holding mid and then scratch the 10 out of the way and just try Loca with Douglas Luiz rotating, and then have Kefren Taram with Coop Miners playing as the 8.
Honestly, what I would have done with the team we have currently, because we're short of center backs, I don't know how you can fit it. But with how we started this season, in my opinion, 3-4-2-1 would have been ideal. You have Bremer, you have Gatti. Number one, Gatti is protected in that system. You even can play Danilo sometimes in this system on the left side. Whoever you want. We got Kalulu, we had Cabal. Like you can play around with a 3-man backline. On the left side, Cambiaso, who is going up and down anyways. On the right side, Savona. That's your backline anyways. You do a double pivot of Cope Miners and Luis or Thuram, or okay, we got Douglas Luiz. So you play around with those four and those positions. And the half spaces in front of them, you just use Yildiz on the left side, and then you can play around again, Nico Gonzalez on the right side maybe, or sometimes put Bangulan when you need a bit of speed on the left side, switch Yildiz to the
Again, the point is there's so many fucking options, man.
There are so many options. You could have tried something while still having all your best players on the field, which is why I don't understand how much we are like how meritorious to a system. From me, a good coach is not only having a system that works great, but if you have mountains to climb, or when this situation forces you to do something different and excel on it.
Even Pioli was doing different stuff too when it wasn't working his way.
Pioli wasn't a horrible coach. Like Milan was stupid to get rid of him.
Oh well, they
haven't done well since he's been gone. So, I mean, they won a Super Cup. So
sure, a Saudi Super Cup.
Yeah, but they got a coach that's just as pragmatic as Pioli. That's the difference.
Right.
That's why they started pulling it back together again.
And he's almost punching his captain. So.
Literally.
Which is what we need.
I mean, I take a little bit of that right now.
Hey, I'm here to share an important message. Mata out. He is still at Bologna versus Juve level back in May 24, losing the win from 3-0. So Mata out. Oh, look in his eyes, and I see his level of clown face.
For me right now, I have a hard time defending him. I really do.
You haven't. you have a hard time. You've had no time. You haven't fucking defended him at all.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get the other perspective, right? Like, for example, are there patterns of play? Are there things going on? And it's just like, I keep seeing the same exact issues over and over again, and it's like, because like for example, you know, like you'll have some people, oh, the patterns of play, the ideas are there, we're just not executing, and yada yada yada. Okay, great. How long is it going to take to execute? Because it's like, for example, I saw a comment on here about the Arsenal path, and it's like, great, what's Arsenal done?
Nothing, and that's the problem. Look, Arsenal as
And they had
as a
and they had fuck you money too,
Yeah,
and they have
that's true.
fuck you money, and
Lot
they
of it.
still haven't done anything.
Yeah. Look, Arsenal is also a crazy story because they started out with Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, Gabriel Jesus at the front. They were trying to go the way of scoring 3 or 4 goals per game, and it was working. But they were leaking at the defense, even though they had Gabriel and William Saliba, who are still good defenders. But they were conceding a lot of goals because they were concentrating offensively so much. And now he has done a full U-turn and secures defensively everything. They barely concede goals, but they're not scoring offensively. So he never found the balance. And for me, it seems like we are on a similar direction of not finding the correct balance with the squad that we have right now.
You know what's insane? Thinking about this, Stefano Pioli, and then Max coming up this summer, and this is just working off what Bones is asking here. So if they fired him, who would you bring in at this point? I'm like, okay, well, who's available? Both Max and Pioli are gonna be in Saudi Arabia. The two guys that both these teams fired that are doing better than the assholes they put in place.
And they're getting paid about 4 times more than they were.
That sounds like a big fuck you to both Milan and Juve.
Can I do an unpopular opinion? Another one.
You're full of them. Go for it.
Yeah, I would say sell some of your important players, and then utilize that fund to bring Jurgen Klopp.
He's not.
He's got Red Bull money though.
He's got number one the Red Bull money, and the only job he would ever go to now that is bigger than Liverpool would be either Real or Barcelona at some point. That's it. Like otherwise he's not coming back to football. Or maybe if Nagelsmann goes away from the German national team after the World Cup or whatever.
Which I would love that too for a club. I don't know because
hey, Deschamps going to be available.
I would love to do that. That's a good. That would be a good option.
At this point,
yeah.
I think.
Do you know what Deschamps is doing though, which is good? He's using his best players and their best, like not all the time their best position, but he finds a way to play his best players all the time.
The best for the team as a whole. Yeah, he's an old school coach, and I'm not opposed to it, especially when you look at who would be available. Who would be available?
Hey, maybe you know what? You want to go even crazier on popular opinion, Jeff? At this point, I take freaking Mourinho.
I don't. I would be for it.
Yeah, at this point,
I would take freaking Mourinho in a heartbeat right now over what I'm seeing. Over what I'm seeing. This is what Mota has brought me to, and I resent him for it.
I like Mourinho. I like him. I don't agree with everything. I'm not saying I'm a Mourinho stan, but I think is what we need is that particular charismatic figure to be able to like just put these little shits to compete.
So going off this here, national team coaches, yes, I mean they can be tricky, sure, but we're also does he not get a pass? Or get out of here, stupid pop-ups. Seeing as Didier Deschamps as, I mean, you know,
I don't know.
Does he get a pass? I would, in this case.
Hey, Dave, German Dave, what about just bring Joachim Löw?
No, man.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. God,
where is he these days?
Probably picking his crotch somewhere.
He just gave an interview yesterday. He said that he had a couple of job offers on the table, but he's waiting for something interesting. I hope we're not there's something interesting. So let's.
Man, I haven't seen a picture of him in a long time. What an ugly fucker.
Hey,
Oh, that would be
So-
so interesting.
I just stumbled upon this. Does Beppe not work for Juve anymore?
What do you mean? Why?
I just saw Adam Luciano just post. Honestly, didn't know Beppe doesn't work for the club anymore.
Oh,
think
I think
he had
just
a
because
contract,
I think he's starting to go in on Mota. I think he's starting to do some criticisms.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, he had a
he's-
whole thing in today's post where he talked for like 3 minutes and then he left the chair empty for like
and that was
20
yeah.
minutes. That was just I gotta
Damn.
tell you.
Signifying it was it was pretty
Hey.
funny. He did the first half where he was basically saying how well Juve did, and then when it got to the point where he was going to talk about how Juve performed in the second half, you just saw an empty chair for 4 minutes. That's him saying like, "Hey, I didn't show up just like Juve didn't." So it was pretty funny.
That's actually funny.
It was
Hey,
pretty funny.
maybe it's becoming interesting again, and I can watch.
I don't
So
know.
the thing
Yeah,
is-
I don't know if it's true. I just saw Adam just
No,
posted
look.
on Twitter, so I don't know if it's true. Adam,
I
will
don't know if
post
it's
it.
true,
Yeah.
but it would be for the best because me and Dash did stuff for Juve. And it was completely vanilla and sterile,
hated
and
it.
you couldn't say shit. And yeah, it was the worst time ever.
It was
Well,
terrible.
it's corporatism. That's what it is. If you're in the
Yep.
office, it doesn't matter. You have to maintain a very calm, I would say a very very soft image. Like you
No,
can't say
not very calm. Look, from own experience, it's not only you have to be vanilla, you can't say anything versus the club. They don't like criticism at all. At my workplace, if you are at a meeting, you can't even. We're not allowed to talk about couple of games. Sorry. If we had a bad game, for example, and we are negotiating a deal, whatever, and they ask us, hey, what were the problems that game you lost, and doesn't that hurt our business and stuff like that? And you can't say anything that comes even close to criticism if you work for a club.
you're gonna have to.
And
It's normal.
and
You can,
in,
yeah,
in a
behind
ca-
closed doors. You
and in
notice
a
how none of
case-
us really talk about our job because we all have a job that we can't talk shit about it on the internet. But
I'll talk
Yeah.
off
shit
air,
about my
sure,
job.
we'll talk shit.
I talk
By
shit
the way,
about my job all the time.
I have to be careful very specifically, man.
Yeah,
we all gotta watch it.
I don't know. That's not right. Come on. Where's the freedom of speech there? Like what the
Well, because
hell?
you're signing a contract, right? And that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
you're allowed to have freedom of speech when you're not associated to a brand or company, what it may be. But yeah, you sign basically an agreement to
Yeah,
only
usually
speak good
like
of the
there's some
club.
sort of my job has a social media policy as well where I
Yeah.
can't say stuff. So I mean, it
Uh,
just
Because
is
you
what it
either
is,
say
but-
something good or you shut the fuck up. That's basically it.
That's kind of
when
yeah.
I signed my contract at the football club that I'm working at now, I had a specific a line in my contract that said I'm allowed to do this shtick here because they knew about it, but I have to be careful of how I represent the club, and if I talk to the about them, I have to only talk in good terms about them,
That's
or
gotta
or
suck.
not
Imagine-
not to talk about it at all.
Right. Forget about all
And
of
that
that.
is
which is
my
really
contract,
what they're
bro.
getting at. They're like,
Forget
just
about
don't
the
try to
career-
interpret it.
Forget about the career path that every one of you guys, including me, have. Right now, just imagine if you were a Boeing employee.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Well, I mean,
That's just plain wrong.
I have worked on 737, so let's go. Yeah.
Just
don't risk your
saying.
life. Don't risk your life, man.
Yeah,
This was an old
exactly.
school one. This is an old school
Yeah.
one, not the new ones. But go on.
I'm just saying, or imagine like your company's dumping poisonous pollutants in the ocean and you can't even say that. Like that's
No,
insane to me. That is, like,
Juve's just
absolutely-
polluting our TV screen with the product. That's the only thing they're
I
doing.
mean, they're putting shirt designs, excluding this year. Like our kit designs have been trash, but this year I give it a pass, except for the away yellow lemonade stand looking ass jersey. The other two are fine, but like it's like branding,
That-
but
that
they're not
one-
even doing good.
I actually had to take a moral stand with Juve this year, and it sucks because like there's been a lot of stuff that they've put out that I've liked, but I personally I said, I have to do something because I just can't accept this. And I'm very limited in how I can express my frustration and my distaste. I am not buying a single piece of merch. I'm not buying another ticket. I'm not buying anything other than what I've already done until they have more wins than draws.
Fuck.
So probably not for the rest of the season.
I'm
So-
only
so-
gonna
have to
buy-
reset.
Look, I'm
So
only
you're
gonna
not tra-
buy that.
That's
So
all
you're
I
not
got.
traveling to
That's-
Stuttgart again?
Look,
Not travel
No,
to
that
well,
Stuttgart?
thankfully it
is
was
fire.
Turin. I would have been more pissed if I flew to freaking Stuttgart and had to watch
Dude,
that.
hey, in Stuttgart, you would have maybe even gotten a better experience because the stadium in Stuttgart is great. The fans are loud and stuff. Maybe the
Yeah,
stadium
how's the
experience in
food
Estelle would have
though?
been better.
How's the food?
Oh my God, dude!
Is
German stadium food is incredible, man.
it? All right.
I'm telling you.
I had
we have
I had some good
Yeah.
pizza in Turin. So
What
I'm just
happened? What-
saying.
no,
Where's
I-
the okay?
our pizza is not as great, but now we have pasta and parmesan wheels and everything like at our stadiums. Like food is getting top notch.
All right.
That's
Taco
good.
bars, Indian cuisine.
Oh man, I get pretty good tacos around here, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're set where you're at.
No, you don't.
Hey, our food is
You
pretty
don't.
solid
I
here.
was gonna say, aren't you married to one that knows the recipe? I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I also live an hour and a half drive from the border, so I mean, you know.
No, you don't.
Estás muy buena.
Hey, you don't have to travel to
Tell my
Germany for
wife,
stadium
babe, I'm
food,
going
but
to, I'm
if
going
but
to
if you're
Stuttgart
here,
for the tacos. I'll see you later.
no,
Well,
but food is
She'd
nice.
slap the shit out of you.
As she
You guys-
should.
Like, son, ¿por qué estás así?
Wait,
¿Por qué
speaking
te
of,
vas?
yeah, you're from California, right, Sal?
No, I'm originally from New Jersey, but I've lived
No,
in
but
Southern
you live in
California for like the
California.
last 13 years. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say you're not affected by the air quality from the wildfires or any of that, right?
No, luckily I live in Orange County, so I'm about from the Palisades and from Altadena. I'm probably about an hour and a half south, so it hasn't been so
Well,
bad.
that's good to hear. Yeah,
He said,
I
he said,
appreciate
he said
that.
the only
Thank you.
thing he's like the only thing that's making me teary eyed isn't the fires, it's just Juve.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah, like I said, that's all the pollutants I can take right now.
I've already braced myself since the last season. I'm just kind of like, okay, if shit happens, if we're gonna pop off, great. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna have to be patient and shut the hell up.
But that was like for us, the patience was maybe another top four, right? Maybe fourth place again.
Yes.
Whatever.
Oh, I didn't even
My
expect
patience does not. Yeah, my patience does not extend to 6th, 7th place. Like,
No.
I'm expecting an 09.
You
a
gotta
2010.
come with us on the Balkan tour, man. Come on, Conference League journeys. Let's do this.
I'll be down.
But
Hey,
6
look, I'm
months in
down.
Europe.
I'm down to go to Tirana and just watch a Juve game there. Maybe
Hey,
go
to watch
Partizan.
to watch a Juventus with De Sciglio, with Rugani in the starting lineup, with Mattia Perin because we have to sell Di Gregorio this summer already when we sign him permanently.
I don't think we're keeping Di
Man,
Gregorio, man.
It
Come
would be
on.
fun. Hey, midfield of Locatelli, Fagioli,
Fagioli back from
Miretti.
Genoa.
Yeah, Fagioli, Miretti starting lineup. Yildiz will be
Sekulov is a
gone, so
striker.
maybe Mbangula stays.
Milik.
Who's on? Milik.
Oh, that guy. I don't know what the fuck is up with Milik. Like, where is he? It's like, where's Waldo, but where's Milik?
He's in Mordor.
I don't know. What the fuck
He said more.
Have
He's
Juke
playing on
be
the
scurrying
same
around like Smeagol, trying to figure out how to find the precious again.
Yeah. Yeah. My precious.
Oh yeah, Kostic will be back, man. We can go to a 3-5-2 again. Kostic will be back.
Yeah, a whole bunch of guys are going to be back next year, and like I said, we're going to need all of them because we're going to have to sell everyone else.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Dude,
And on that happy note, folks.
Hey, I know we are joking. I know we are joking, but missing Champions League, but missing Champions League would be catastrophic. Dude, it will doom us for the next 3 to 4 years if we miss out on Champions League.
I mean, if you guys
That's
remember the video we did, right, when we went over Juve's
Yes.
financial statement and they were listing the strategic risks, right? What was the first risk that they had in terms of sporting results was not qualifying for Europe. And by Europe, they didn't mean Conference League and Europa League. So, I mean, they stated it themselves. So it's not us making it up. It's not us just coming up with this out of nowhere.
Nope, it's how it is. Check it out. Check that video. There's lots of videos you guys need to check out if you haven't already. Man, we've loaded a bunch of videos the past week or two.
You know. Oh, I know.
Hey, Sal, if we had our adopted and shared son Italiano right now, man.
We said it, right? Hey, out of the
We said
and
it.
when we were making the case for Italiano, what did we say? Out of all these guys that they're mentioning, he is the only one who has played multiple competitions in Europe, and he took
Yes.
that bum Fiorentina side with Artur to a Conference League final. He made it to 2 Conference League finals. So he played deep into those competitions and kept Fiorentina still in those European spots, like lower European spots. But that's the team that they had, right? Like that. They had Artur as like one of their main focal points in their midfield. It's just,
Now they got the
somebody
goat.
found a use for him.
They got the goat, Moise Keane.
Oh man, here we are. Well, that's I don't know. Another week of it's the same thing, but we lost this time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
He doesn't have that to hang on his hat anymore. You can't say the undefeated Mota anymore. So
It's about fucking time. I'm sorry. I'm finally like, okay, about fucking time. I'm done with this we're undefeated bullshit. Now I hope they can just kind of like fucking regroup and revamp and not worry about losing a game. Just fucking
nah, he gave most of the guys a day off afterwards.
Oh yeah, he did.
Ain't no fucking way.
Yeah, he gave most of them. I think they had Vlahovic and I forgot who else. There was another player that
We're cooked.
they did non-mandatory training. Like they actually wanted to go out to the pitch and do something. The rest of the guys had a day off. The rest of them had a day off to get ready.
Cooked.
So
We're cooked. We're fucked.
Jeff,
Chat, are we cooked?
a German player, I forgot who it was, played for Conte at Chelsea. It wasn't like Timo Werner. It was one that was like barely breaking to the squad. I forgot what the game was. He was sitting on the bench. He said the greatest coach I ever worked with is Antonio Conte because he demands every single like ounce of blood and sweat that you have in every single practice session. And if you don't show everything in practice, he will sit you down for the next game. You have no chance of playing if you give us just half-assed effort. He will run us down. That's why after the season you're completely like you ran out of energy. But there's no coach that is as demanding as Conte. And my thing is we needed a coach like that one to show the divas that we have in the squad, like how they have to practice and how they have to act to earn their place at the team. Because most of them, if I watch the team right now, still look just entitled, honestly. And there's nothing more in sports that I hate than entitled players.
Honestly. You know what's the worst thing though? You know what's the funniest thing? That Dusan went to go practice. Now that he noticed that we signed Colomwani, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna lose my starting spot." So now I'm gonna
to a guy who hasn't played a minute for PSG all year.
Yep, and then gets the goal.
18 months.
But here's more damning information. Points given up after having an advantage. Venezia 22, Juve 17, and Bologna 17.
Yeah.
Como,
yeah, it's a
Como,
really nice
list.
Parma. That's a real nice list.
Great list to be.
That's another top 5 I was hoping not to be involved in, but here we are.
Yeah, fucking embarrassing.
Get your shit together, guys. What is going on? What do you guys think of the Benfica match? I say it's a tie.
Well, I did a whole video with Adrian.
Yes,
so this is my shameless plug for those of you who have not seen it. Go check out the video I did with Adrian from Rabona TV.
Yeah, we'll get a tie and then we'll play either Real or Bayern in the knockout.
You know what Moto reminds me of? Is a hire. He reminds me of Ten Hag.
Bro,
useless.
The problem is but the problem is Ten Hag proved more than Motta. Even though I hate Ten Hag, like he proved a bit more than Motta.
But we're
Yeah,
comparing
he won.
shit
He
still.
won a
What does it
couple.
matter?
He won a couple of Carabao Cups. We
I
couldn't
hate
even
these
make it to the
compare.
final of the Super League.
I hate these
whatever it was called.
comparisons though. It's like, oh, we're not as shitty, or we're more shit. Like, who cares? You're all just shit. Who cares what level of shit you are?
I understand that. I just mean like you could like I would understand it more if you take a bet on Ten Hag rather than Motta. At the point of where Ten Hag was at Ajax, I don't think anybody said he's a shit coach.
You
Like
know
we
who
were
else is
saying
at
of
Ajax? Rugani. I'll take him.
Rugani.
Ten Hag is going to
Okay,
Borussia Dortmund. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Is that true?
What?
Reports have
Sorry?
it. Ten Hag is going to go to Borussia Dortmund.
There are reports, but right now nobody knows because Dortmund is a dumpster fire.
Mhm. Pretty
Well,
bad.
shit.
You know the whole Kyle Walker thing went to where I think he officially signed for Milan. So
Yeah,
that's
that
gonna
did
be
happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see how that factors in.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Walker and Theo
dude,
Hernandez on one side as fullback.
For Conceição, the three-man backline, Kyle Walker still can play. He had just the problem he couldn't work with Pep anymore in a four-man backline where he's demanded to go up and down and defend like quick wingers and stuff like that. But in a three-man backline, I still think he can be very good for Milan.
I think he'll do well in the league, dude. I don't think it's as much of a fast-paced league as the EPL. So I always thought like Kyle Walker was a good player. I would have been okay if they if we took like 60 mil plus like Walker as an option, like or like 55 million and then Walker. Like they get Cambiasso and we get Kyle Walker. I would have been okay with that, to be honest with you.
I mean, we'll take anybody.
Yeah,
We'll take some random dudes we never heard of. That when we had to make a video, Dash was like, "Who?"
we'll probably get or I heard rumors about Tolibo again. It's coming back.
Yeah, those rumors are here again. We'll see if they can do anything in a few days. But I don't know. I don't want to spend any more big money. And is he going to be the right player, Todibo? Because the concerns are he screwed us off to go to West Ham, whatever. Now he's unhappy because he's not getting playing time. So now he's okay with
blame
us.
that on Giuntoli, to be honest with you.
Could be. We don't know the full story.
I think that was on Giuntoli. I think was it with the Conceição thing, wanting to go to his dad. I don't even think that's the full story. For what I've heard too, I think the agent of Andre Silva was also the same agent of Conceição. So I think he got a little bit tired of Giuntoli's antics because when we were trying to get Silva from Benfica, he was trying to lower the price down more than he could bargain for. So I think who's the agent again? He was Ronaldo's former agent. I forgot.
It's a Mendes.
Mendes, yeah, Mendes.
Yes.
So like he kind of pulled back on the Conceição. My theory on the Conceição is simple: if we do not make it in the top 4, he's not going to be a player. That's it. He's done.
Well, we won't be able to afford him, and he's the options, right? Even Di Gregorio, technically, if the finances are bad enough, but there's an obligation. If there's an obligation, maybe not. But like Nico Gonzalez, who else? There's
I think Di Gregorio will probably stay, but I do think Bremer leaves. I could see Bremer leaving. I could see. Maybe,
well, that's what I said. You backline of Gatti and Rugani. Good fucking luck next year.
Leaves. Yeah, Nico Gonzalez leaves. I think. Who else?
Yildiz. Yeah.
Yildiz could leave. He could stay and leave.
It's the only one that's going to be able to bring us in any kind of money to cover up any shortfalls.
Yeah,
they're still trying to break even. That doesn't change if we're in the Champions League or not.
Yeah,
we spend less.
Luis could probably. I think he leaves regardless. It's kind of unfortunate what's going on with him. I think those guys, they just leave. Majority of those players leave, and we need somebody. We need an ass kicker for a coach. I'm going to say that 1,000,000 times every time I come here.
Are you all right?
Oh, here's some more. Conceição yelling at Calabria. This is all I want. I don't even care if he's right. I just need him to yell at people.
I just need him to yell at people. I just want him to slap people.
I thought he was going to swing, and they won that game. barely at the last possible second.
Mhm.
What is he like, the Portuguese Allegri?
Yeah.
Dude, he has a way hotter temperament than Allegri.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. More like a Portuguese.
Like Conceição as a coach is like proper Simeone like temperament.
All right, let me throw this around though for fun. What would you have thought of Tuchel? I know he's not the. I think he's coaching England for what
Dude,
I.
honestly,
Wow.
now that of course in retrospect and how I saw Motta panning out, I would have taken Tuchel even though I said he was toxic because Tuchel properly would have cussed out our players and put them in their place.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm not a huge fan of Tuchel, but
and he could have played the 3-man backline, which I would have liked as well.
I kind of like Tuchel though. I don't know. But he's
I-
with England.
I do.
this is what I think of Tuchel. Like this little girl down here. Just a fucking shirt tucker.
keep racism because her shirt is tucked in.
Jesus Christ.
No, not the keep racism part. Fuck, that part's fine. It's just just that's Tuchel. He's just that really awkward person that tucks in his shirt for no
Yeah.
reason.
By the way, keep racism out of football, not keep racism.
Oh, I guess that. Yeah, that's the very unfortunate part of that. Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
by
Too late.
the way,
Too late.
dude, and I'm still so sad that Tuchel moved to England because like 100% will win titles for them, and I can't stand the day that happens, man.
Oh, he could do it. Yeah, he could do it.
He will, not he can. He will.
Well,
Unfortunately.
that squad that England has, they should have won a World Cup and a Euros.
You're
with what
welcome.
they had.
You're welcome.
Thanks to them. Thanks to them.
Thanks to Bonucci.
Yeah, but everybody expected Spain to beat. We had to go into the lines then. We had to do it at Wembley. So
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Have you watched the podcast episode of The Overlap with Gary Neville and stuff where Chiellini was there as a guest?
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Dude, how he said, dude, we knew about the pressure that England had, even though it was a home game for them. We know that we have the advantage because of how the press is writing about them. We knew their tactics. We knew that they have to play their tiki-taka ball, and if we disrupt them, they have no concept of somehow trying to score goals. Dude, how he explained everything, oh my god, I loved it, man.
How you explain the soccer foul?
Bro,
Yeah.
it's simple to give you England. England is nothing but the Dallas Cowboys of the World Cup. Except they've made it to the conference.
No, they can't. No, you can't call them the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys actually won before at some point. England's just never won.
I like
They won what?
60s.
Wow, they won a
66?
66. Yeah.
They
They
have
got
one
one.
World Cup.
In England. It was in
It's
England.
it's one World Cup. They haven't. Dude, Greece has won Euros more than them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greece is a country people actually like to go to, though.
Do they?
Oh yeah, it's
Unless if you're
beautiful.
rich and you go to Oikinos or whatever the hell it's called.
Mykonos. Yeah.
Mykonos.
I
Yeah,
like
there's-
Greece.
Greek Isles. The Greek Isles. Yeah.
Athens
there's
is
so
a
many different
dumpster
spots.
fire. It's a fun dumpster fire. I have
It's a fun dumpster.
These
I-
are the Albanians now being like, no, nobody likes Greece. No,
Brother,
why would you like
what
Greece?
are you talking about? Nobody goes
I'm
to
gonna be
Greece.
honest with
Everybody
you.
goes to us.
I don't care. I have a good time in Athens. I just don't tell them I'm Albanian. But like,
Yeah, I was about to say that's how it works. You don't tell them that.
I just tell them I'm a dumb American at that point.
Yeah, it's better to be a dumb American than anybody from the Balkans.
Like,
But isn't Greece part of the Balkans?
it is, of course, yeah. Well,
It is. It's part of the Balkan Peninsula, but like
They're the
Sociopolitically, it's not.
they're like the scholared version of the Balkans. They're like the Balkans with glasses.
Yeah.
we hate each other for the stupidest reasons. I don't understand. For the dumbest.
I know they had a beef with the Turks. I didn't realize it extended all the way up to Albania.
Hey,
the whole
Now I-
fucking
now I-
peninsula, Sal, man. They're all fucked.
The problem is because of the Turks that the Balkans have beef with each other. It's honestly like if you look at it, it's because of the Ottoman Empire. They spread their religion in there, and then all of a sudden, all the Greek Orthodox and all the other Christians, Catholics, and other weird ones are all just kind of like,
The
hey,
other weird ones. Maybe that's what causes the wars by
That's
just calling the other weird
probably
ones.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, like, freaking, yeah, it's territorial nationalism, religion.
it's bro.
Are we
religious
doing? Are we
movements.
gonna do one? Are we gonna do one of these podcasts strictly for geopolitics? It's just gotta
After
be one.
dark,
Okay.
fuck
Oh,
yeah,
Members only.
fuck
Members
yeah,
only.
Absolutely.
Members
members,
only.
fuck yeah.
Members
I
only.
will have a
We can't-
lot of unpopular
Oh, hell
opinions.
Did you guys listen to the first one that we did?
No,
Yeah.
which one?
just released one.
We released one. We
Wow,
did an
so-
After Dark one.
come on,
Was
so-
it Friday night, Saturday night?
Thursday.
Oh, I think
yeah,
you
I
meant, like,
released
your
it
first
Friday.
ever podcast. No, I was like, no. I didn't see that.
No,
Oh, no,
yeah,
no.
just like that podcast. We called it. We were talking about castles because that's what we were
We
talking about.
started with castles, then we talked about wooden trusses, and then they made fun of me for talking about string theory.
Because nobody believes in it anymore.
Yeah, nobody believes in it anymore. But apparently, I made Dolph feel insecure about ice cream. Like, no, could you,
Hey,
that'd
man,
be
you know?
hilarious. If we
I've never
did-
met an engineer who doesn't like talking about string theory. So
I actually don't. Surprisingly, I don't. That's the crazy thing. I don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the thermodynamics talk, man.
Don't even get. Stop it.
I love
Stop
the
it.
talk about entropy,
Dude,
okay?
my cousin studied engineering as well, and all I'm hearing thermodynamics.
It's important, but
what-
nobody
what-
cares
what
at the
else?
same time.
What else is he talking about?
Especially in religious.
Gearboxes, thermodynamics, all that stuff, man.
I would get canceled in a church if I talked about it, and I talked about entropy. They'd like kick me out.
No, I think you're allowed to. No, I mean, it just depends on the.
Oh, they'll just look at me as like a heretic or some shit.
Church of Scientology.
Well, yeah, fun fact.
they're all over. They're all over here. If you guys ever think
No,
anybody
no.
wants to come here and take a stroll through, I'll bring you.
Fun
Yeah, I'm sure
fact.
the
Wow.
Hollywood Hills are full of it. All those
Fun
fucking
fact.
whack
No,
jobs.
there's one in downtown San Diego too. These things are massive.
Dig.
You can
Yes,
just
yes.
walk right in.
I've seen one. I saw one in the hotel I had in Frankfurt looked like into the alleyway, the door of the Church of Scientology, and it was just a black door, and every so often it would just be like the
And
doors open, they walk in.
so, in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh
and
yeah,
so Clearwater-
that's their Vatican.
Yes, I live 15 minutes away. Keep this in mind from that epicenter of cult-like behavior. It's the epicenter, downtown Clearwater. I actually met John Travolta. I
The
didn't
water
meet
not so clear.
I saw him at a pizzeria, in an Albanian pizzeria. Yes, he was there downtown.
Was it
Clearwater.
an actual Albanian pizzeria or Italian pizzeria owned by an Albanian?
Yes, that is it. An Italian
There's a
pizzeria
distinction there.
owned by an Albanian. Anyways, yes, Clearwater, Florida, the Clearwater downtown region. It is the epicenter, the capital of Scientology. There's just buildings and a bunch of weirdos walking around. Don't even associate. Don't even talk to you. And I'm okay with that. It's because I don't want to talk to them either.
The term Florida man exists on so many different levels.
The Florida man okay, there's the rules, okay? Here's the thing about Florida. You have Disney, Miami, Tampa. And then you have your additional Gainesville, Tallahassee with all your college degenerates. Everything else is just a bunch of meth heads wrestling alligators. And that is all you need to know.
So excited for GTA 6.
Oh,
Oh, good. I already fucking know. Nothing
So
but
excited.
fucking unhinged, brain rotting podcasts, 20-foot crocs and alligators, and meth heads with shitload of face tattoos.
Great.
Hey, what will we get first, GTA 6 or Juventus in Champions League?
GTA 6. It's coming this year. It's happening. All right, we do have to roll this one out. I do have to do an in-show correction because, Chino Eddie is back. So, the lyrics. It's kill the headlights and put it in neutral. Stock car flaming with the loser in the cruise control. That, I just put them together. Eddie, you still ruined my joke, but you are correct. There you go.
Eddie's a musician, man. He's he knows his stuff there.
Yeah, I almost wore my Metallica shirt tonight too, and then I felt self-conscious that the boys were making fun of me that I didn't have any flannel, being a Canadian. I'm like, oh, I did.
You know how it's funny though, how none of us are wearing Juve swag right now.
Yeah, no, it's
I never do.
We did not plan
I
this,
never
by the
do.
way.
I just have my shirts in the back. I almost never wear them.
should just
I
wear the
don't-
Morata one.
You need the axe, Dave. That's what you need.
I
along
don't
with your
have a
fucking
Morata
axe.
one. Still don't.
No, I mean the Maple Dave, the Canadian.
the-
He's got
the
the
Fender.
shirt, and he needs an axe.
Oh, the axe. I thought because guitar is an axe.
No,
thing. I mean, I
axe,
do
like
have
an
an axe. I
actual
have
axe.
axes. Yeah, I mean, I cut wood. It's cold outside.
I mean, we consider cold, but like for you guys, it's summer. But yeah, still, yeah, I'm cold as well, but it's okay.
Yeah, because Gino Eddie, you got the tattoo, but no gears because you go shirtless.
Bill scored. I repeat, Bill scored.
Bills did score side 7. All right, let's we all gotta go watch some football. It looks like. Hey, Rick Ozzy's in. How's it going? We're about to shut her down. You're probably just getting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, time zones, guys.
Yeah, geopolitics came at like the 2-hour mark. If you want to.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
I have a lot of some popular, some unpopular opinions about geopolitics, but yeah,
We'll have to save it for another time. We got to put Dave to bed. I have to eat Sunday dinner still. So
I
we
still
all
can't believe
got
it's not
big.
butter.
You still can't believe it's not butter?
Yeah.
How does that have anything to do with me eating Sunday dinner? Is that a thing I missed?
That's for an after dark.
Okay, you let me know.
Seriously though, people watch the after dark shit. We're gonna make them even more funnier as we keep rolling on.
Yeah, and everyone that thinks Canada's going to be part of the States, you forgot about Quebec. Right?
I don't want to deal with the French. No thanks. No, build a wall on Quebec.
All right, we're all going to build up walls. We're going to keep everyone up. Fuck everyone. Fuck Canada. Fuck America. Fuck Mexico. And especially fuck Greenland.
Bring me in Canada. And I'm good. I'll deal with the cold, but I'll come in Canada. I don't care. I'm good.
As on time too, also Greenland. Oh man, yeah, we got them all. All right, so that's the show for today.
Have a good one, guys.
Oh boy. All right. That's yeah, thanks everyone for joining in, and Dash, take us away, buddy.
Wait, what the fuck? Am I doing this now? What?
You always do the outro.
Oh shit!
Do it.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize I had to talk. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see this week. We've got some programming. I know we're doing watch alongs this week because Dave is traveling, so Dave is preparing himself out, guys out. So we will see you guys on Thursday, and then probably we will maybe make an after dark video at some point towards the weekend, and we'll release that. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about. It's whatever. It's not going to be geopolitics.
Greenland. We're gonna talk about Greenland.
Talk about Diddy.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love how Jeff just kind of comes in with the oil there. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later in the week.